Yo, what's good? What's poppin'? What it is, what it ain't, what it could be, what it should be, what it would be. I am Cam Newton, the son, Mr. Boogie to all. And today, as always, I'm here to give good content for the masses and to always keep it funky for your asses. Now listen, this person needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him a proper introduction. We share a lot of similarities, playing in the SEC, first overall pick, and just having an athletic prowess like no other. I present to some and introduce to others, Eli Manning.
That's an introduction. Thank you, Cam.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that.
Man.
That was impressive.
Yeah.
It's not your first rodeo.
I try. It is. This whole new thing of communication and conversation is something relatively new, but at the same time, I'm comfortable. I love talking to people, and I've been burnt enough in the media that I know I will never come at it without the purity of just trying to know the individual better.
That's awesome. Man, you didn't tell me I had to dress up. I needed a bow tie. You're in a bow tie.
I think that email
is. You got a denim
is,
suit on, which I've never seen before.
I sent it. It may have went straight to the trash email or the spam. You know what I mean?
My bad.
We was talking about this earlier, but what makes Eli tick? Like for so long, and I'm gonna get to the questions, but the thing that just popped in, you know, as we're here on set, like what's your thing? Like what's the dirt? What's the tea?
What's the tea? You know what? I try to keep things simple.
Mm-hmm.
I try to keep life simple, but I love to compete in things.
Yep.
And so I like finding, even in retirement, like I like finding sports and things I can compete in, and whether that's golf, or I've picked up tennis, or hey, you get me on a paddle court or a pickleball, or just like whatever you can compete in. You know, I kind of gave up basketball back in college when I saw someone get hurt, but you know, play some horse with the kids, and
Are you in any type of like leagues, like the YMCA, the country club, or something like that?
Do some like paddle leagues, which is like a Northeast tennis kind of racquetball type sport. So get in some of these little leagues and little country club sports. My wife and I play some mixed doubles tennis together.
No way.
Take on some other couples.
That's y'all thing.
You know, it was just kind of fun, just to, wife and I have never competed in anything.
Yeah.
I'd never played tennis and a whole lot, and, she invites me out there, and
Your wife plays too?
She plays.
Okay.
I don't, but I've picked it up since just to try to compete and win some of these. It's like, hey, if we're gonna play together, we gotta go put a good show on, right?
And it has to be the Manning standard, right? I think you guys have done something that's like unprecedented in a way, but when you hear the Manning name, it's like the first family of football.
Well, I think my dad started it all, and he set it up, and I think a lot of people assume that like he had some master plan to create these quarterbacks when we were growing up, but nothing could really be further from the truth. He was just trying to raise good kids. We liked playing sports. We played basketball, we played baseball, we played, football. But, I think the great thing about football is it's a sport you can kind of pick up late in life, and you probably get more playing at recess and in the backyard at fields. Just playing other sports can make you a better football player.
Right.
And, it's not like you got to play in leagues when you're 6 years old and commit that to a life of football at a young age. You can just play a bunch of sports, and eventually you get into, kind of high school, you start playing as a team and figuring out if you can do this thing.
Yeah. So he didn't have no master plan like Serena and Venus's father.
No.
He just had a template when you was out the womb. Boom, this is how we gonna rock.
There was no master plan. And my dad was he kind of said, hey, I lived my football life.
Yeah.
If you want to get into it, go do it. I'm happy to help, but I'm not going to be the dad pushing you into certain things.
Right. I think that's extremely needed, because even for me, I didn't play quarterback until high school, really, like a year before high school. And I think my father was a person in my life that I've always came home to a critiquing and analysis. He was just always the person behind the fence.
Right.
And I asked him later on when I was an adult, just why, because I think when you coach your son, when you coach your child all the way through, they're going to grow a numb ear or a deaf ear to other coaches. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think if it's done out of purity and love, I think you can't lose with that, man. And Archie has done an unbelievable job with you guys. My first question is this: how was it like, just the person that had to always live up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When a person knows Eli Manning, right? They, whether they know Peyton's your older brother, but before that, it was, Archie's son, whether coming into a league that your brother dominated for a long time, or going to a college where your father, is a legend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was tough at times. Just, it's not something you ask for. I mean, you gotta imagine for me, all of a sudden I'm a sophomore in high school. I'm starting to play a little football, but I'm the son of Archie Manning in New Orleans, where he played his career around the South, and then Peyton's a junior at the University of Tennessee, up for Heisman trophies and everything going on. And I'm just saying, I just want to be a kid playing high school football with my friends. Like, I'm not asked to be, for the news to be around or to be on TV and everything. So I think for me, I just tried to just keep things, just very simple, and just keep things tight, and have a small group of friends, and hey, these are my buddies, and just try not to worry about things that are out of my control.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like dealing with Peyton as he's going. All of a sudden, he's the first pick in the NFL draft. In high school, he was the Gatorade Player of the Year. All these things. I said, if I tried to be better than him, it would drive you crazy. Because can you be better than the first pick? How can you be better than all these things he was doing? And said, hey, I'm going to work hard. I love playing sports. I love playing football. I love being with my friends and competing. And I'm going to do everything possible, to go win games and be my best. But if I'm not as good as him or fall short in different ways, I'm not going to let it crush me and make that seem like I'm a failure.
Of course. I think, for me, I think I lived it. I saw it with my younger brother, Kalen, right? Out of high school, he never had his name. It was never Kalen Newton. It was Cam's little brother, Kalen. You know what I'm saying? I seen him grow into a person very mature for his age, still mature. I would always call him my older brother rather than my younger brother. But just him feeling the pressure, and not only that, he transferred from Howard to Auburn. Now that whole, your brother got a statue. What the hell are you gonna do in here? You know what I'm saying? It's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? But for the person who sees this, you just gotta be you. You just gotta do you. And once you perfect that, everything else that comes with it, you don't want to put too much on your plate.
Yeah, you gotta be comfortable in your own skin and just understand what your personality is, and just go out there, be a good person, and that kind of can take you a long way.
Yeah. My curiosity has to ask, obviously you having your children, right? That Manning household with Thanksgiving and Christmas, you guys are loaded. You guys are loaded. How, take me to that point, for a family reunion. You know what I'm saying? Peyton has his, Cooper has his, you have yours, right? And then it's just like.
Well, it's fun, as you know, kind of playing football, you don't always get Thanksgiving and Christmas time together. You're in practice, you're in season, you had everybody different places. Peyton was playing, so growing up in New Orleans, Mardi Gras was our kind of get the families together. Wow. We go back to my parents' house, and we didn't, you think of Mardi Gras, it's not the Bourbon Street party scene. It's kind of a maybe PG-13 version of Mardi Gras. So kids might see some things, but not too much. But
it's Uncle Eli, you're wobbling.
But you go back there, and it's great. We go back, and you've been around Coop, and he's crazy. He's got one son that's getting recruited all over the country.
Heavily.
Other son's more like Coop and a complete wild man, and a daughter, and so just to see everybody together, it's always fun. It's not as much football talk as you might think. It's just, the fact that I'm up in New Jersey, Peyton's in Denver, Coop's in New Orleans, just kind of telling stories about what's going on in our lives. And to get, see all the cousins together and them running around or playing pickup games in the front, or my kids getting on Coop's kids' shoulders to try to catch some beads. It's a good, it's good times, and it's hard to get everybody together.
So the thing that you said without really saying it, and I want to tell the viewer this, you played in the league for how long?
16 years.
16 years. So with that 16-year span, right, you've never had an opportunity to, if you're outside of you guys playing each other on Thanksgiving,
right,
that you've never had a full family interaction on Thanksgiving or Christmas because of your work.
Because of the work,
Until probably now in retirement, and everybody's able to do it if you guys wanted to.
If you even can,
You see what I'm saying?
It's been COVID, and it's been traveling and everything else. So, I mean, really, I think the last Thanksgiving we would have had together, was probably in 1994.
What?
Right? Yeah.
What? But people don't realize, they see the mega star, the person on the TV, the sacrifice. They don't see the sacrifices that you have to have, the discipline that you have to have, from your family and doing certain things. Because for people who may not know, football season is during the fall. Heaven forbid if you're a good football team that year, you're missing New Year's, you're missing Christmas, you're missing all these different things, and it's like, what am I gonna do? Get fined out the ass? Trying to make it to every single family function, or that's just the price you got to take, and then all of a sudden, year after year after year after year, you miss opportunities that you may not never get back. And I'm not here to try to put the shadow on the light, but more or less than just to bring people into our world to say, man, there's so much that you got to sacrifice for the sport of football that we do.
And I think that's what we tried to find other times where we could get together. So hey, we don't get the main holidays, but we'll find a time where we were always close. The brothers like being with each other. We like going to see our parents, and so always find a reason to get together and bring the whole family together.
Yeah. So here we go to the next one. We got from Louisiana, played college in Mississippi. How was it moving to New York out of all cities? It's just like you got the South, okay, South again, and then over here where it's just like this.
It's scary.
Perplexed city where how long did it take you to kind of get used to this whole scenic view of the traffic? And
it definitely took a while, especially just driving around New Jersey, and you think you're like, hey, you're coming to the New York Giants. It's like, well, your headquarters is really in New Jersey. You play in New Jersey, and so and then New Jersey's kind of the roads are crazy, and that was my number one thing. And as playing, like you have these meetings. Meetings start at 7:45. You're a minute late. You're getting a letter. You're getting fined. You're getting fined. It was like, well, you kind of think, well, I could live in New York City. It's like, wait a minute, I got to go through a tunnel or go over a bridge to get to practice. Like, no. So just the driving, figuring out that, and then it's like, well, how do I want to, you got a Friday night, during the off season. It's like, hey, I want to go into the city. How do I get there? How do I get home? And how do you, kind of manage?
And this was before Uber now.
There was no Uber. You had like taxi. There was no, there was hardly any GPS. They had to get like the GPS you buy and you got to like put up on the mountain. It was like just a GPS system that worked sometimes, but it was. There was some, you left early, you still printed out your trips on, MapQuest and got your directions. So it took a little while to get used to it, but now it's kind of become second nature. Know how to navigate the city and the tri-state area.
Man, listen, I've been coming to New York for a long time. I probably, out of, let's say, 15 years of coming to New York, I probably drove in New York once or twice. I don't know, like it's so amusing to me just to hear a person talk about, hey man, I'm on so-and-so and so-and-so, 17th and 34th. Like, walk a couple blocks could be a mile. You know what I'm saying? As this whole lingo, you know what I'm saying, in New York, it's so much inspiration for me. Obviously, I'm a person who loves art, not just fashion, but art as a whole. And self-expression is something that I love, you know, with that. So I think, you know, obviously playing in the league as long as you've played, you've had many different talents around you. You know what I'm saying? Good talents, bad talents, good guys, bad guys, you know what I'm saying? And I think the thing that you don't know as a quarterback until you're thrusted to play quarterback, I think at the college level you kind of see it, but in the NFL is more than ever, you have the job to manage everybody's egos.
Sure.
Not only just from the locker room standpoint, it's the coaches too. You see what I'm saying? It's management too, and it's like you're the glue in some places, or you're the piñata where everybody's just hitting you and blah 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 blah, or you're the main trophy in the shrine when everything goes right. So, what would you say? First off, what personnel would you choose to pick Eli's all-time favorite? If I put the ball on the 20-yard line and you have to go 80 yards to score with, let's say, 3 minutes and 15 seconds left.
Oh, we got a little time. All right.
Guy, you got some time. You don't want to score too fast. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know you're down by 4, though.
Oh, okay, yeah, got to get a touchdown.
Got to get a tug.
I've been there before.
A couple times. So who are you rocking with? What personnel are you rocking with first?
Okay.
And then who's going to be your roster that you're going
There
with?
we go. So we'll go 11 personnel.
11
So we'll go 3
personnel.
receivers.
So for the
tight end, 1 running back. There you go.
Perfect.
Explain it. So receivers, I think you got to go. You know, you got to get the big guy. Go Plaxico Burress.
Plex.
On the outside, right? You like the 6'6", 230-pound
big guy.
receiver. In the slot, you're going Victor Cruz.
Vic.
And then on the other outside, you go with Odell.
I was about to say.
I mean, that's a strong mix right
that's
there.
That's heavy.
Right?
That's venomous. Who's your tight end?
Tight end, I think we're going to go probably with Kevin Boss.
What?
I mean, Shockey was there for a little bit, but he was kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a Kevin Boss, Shockey.
I play with Shockey.
Exactly.
My rookie year. Oh
Shockey.
my goodness, I love him to death.
But Shockey, so it's a combination.
Kevin.
Go Kevin for the 2-minute drive.
Mm-hmm.
And then running backs is probably Tiki Barber as your running back.
Wow, I forgot about Tiki.
Because Tiki was talented. I had him early on, and he was talented. We had some other great running backs, Ahmad Bradshaw and Brandon Jacobs, but just kind of that back who could catch it out of the backfield
and get the protections
and run it, and he's going to know exactly what's going on and all the protections. So Tiki, he saved me early on in my career and probably made me look better than I was at certain times in certain games. So he was a heck of a running back.
So we got Odell, we got Victor Cruz, Plexico Burress, Kevin Boss, Tiki Barber. God.
That's a good crew.
That's
I think we're gonna go score.
That's heavy. You better. That's one of them situations where you better score.
There you go.
It ain't even we gotta score. We better score right here in this situation. Yeah, I think, man, for just that whole overall analysis, and especially how important the running back position is. Many different philosophies and systems ask you to do many different things.
Sure.
And I think when you have, it's a difference, especially at the highest level. It's a difference between being talented, because talent comes and goes, right?
Sure.
But who is the most probably cerebralist, if that's even a word?
I know what it means. So
you know what I'm saying? Cerebral person that
I know what it means. It's a
you
word.
just got it. Like they knew it's like, oh man, Eli, you calling a slant, but you already know, it's going to be a conversion, or you guys had that Wi-Fi connected at all times.
Who's the person? Victor Cruz. We put a lot on his plate, and it's this old Kevin Gilbride run and shoot offense, and we ran it the first couple years, and it was hard. We just didn't have the guys who could make all these decisions based off leverage. you know, you could either sit it down, you could break it in, you could start the break in and whip it back out. You could just run a spray 9 right off the get-go, or you could post it down the middle. So you had all these options, but there's got to be rules within that. And so you can't just wing it. There's got to be kind of set rules, and also, hey, if I'm going to break in, I'm gonna fake out and then break in. So, you know, and so Victor Cruz is the one who just kind of took, you know, where we gave a guy maybe 2 or 3 options, he took it and said, hey, I can handle all 6 of them.
He expanded.
I can, hey, if I see single high press and I got a seam, I'm just going to turn it into a spray 9. If all of a sudden I got outside leverage and a safety favoring my side, I'll snap it in. And so we just rolled with it. And I swear, I mean, over his 2 years where he had his great years, I mean, if he had 25 touchdowns, I think 20 of them were on the same kind of play where he just had the read and he could do it. And you know, you could just read his body language, and that's what made him so hard to cover. Teams kept playing a different defense and said, we're still running the same play. He just has different options. It's hard to stop that.
Right. I think that's so needed in life. Obviously, you know, having a partner along your side, and your wife, your kids, your children, in business, you know, having people that know you is essential. I remember, I'll never forget these words from Jerry Richardson, a person who was the Carolina Panthers owner before it got bought out by David Tepper. One of the core values that he had was obviously, you know, leadership, things like this, things like that. But one word that stuck out to me that didn't necessarily match the competitiveness and the drive was harmony. Right? He always spoke on harmony. I was asked him one day, I said, hey, yo, so what does harmony mean with all these words? You got to be committed. You got to be, you know, be the toughest. You got to be this and that. And what does harmony mean? Harmony means there's no ego involved. You know what I'm saying? And as you're describing Victor Cruz, it's my person, I would say, would
I already know.
Oh, bro.
Greg Olson.
Bruh.
I mean, I already know. You don't even have to say
Greg,
it.
to me.
Because watching, you know, because we had Mike Schuler as our offensive coordinator. We're watching some of y'all's film, and I'm like, what is this route? I said, you're saying this is China, and this is the play, like, or what, a certain, you know, concept. I'm like, that's not the route that you say it is. They're like, well, we just let kind of Greg do, you know, kind of just wing it. Like Cam and Greg, they just kind of figured it out sometimes. I said, and that's kind of what, you know, sometimes with coaching, you can't overcoach. You gotta let players just kind of figure it out and get open.
Because one thing about life, you always are evolving. You always are learning, and everybody's different. You can't coach Eli like you coach Cam. You can't coach Cam like you coach Eli. You see what I'm saying? And the people who get it, they understand, like, that's not to say, okay, my specialty may be 4th and 1. We all know what the fuck is about to happen, right? But 4th and 1 for you is just like, okay, Eli, shit, we got quarterback power. And it's like, what? No,
no, thank you.
I don't want that, right? But my comfortability in certain situations is different. And if you ask a shark to run a 40, of course, you know, he's gonna struggle. But at the same time, we all are able to do these type of things. And going back to harmony, once you understand and you can pinpoint that, then that's where you'll be good. I think, you know, overall, the thing that, this is my last question for me, I think we share something that may not be as publicized as it is, but it's so humbling, right? Being a first pick, you go from, okay, the whole offense is being catered to you. Everything, the whole franchise is being catered to you. What is Cam like? What is Eli like? Well, we got to make sure on the planes that he has this. And it's funny, when I was writing down my questions, I was like, I didn't even know that the guys that we had to prepare shared the same last name. Daniel Jones and Mac Jones.
That's right.
Right? Going from seeing your career take off and Pro Bowl, All-Pro, you know, situations, this, that, and the third, and then once that pick comes in, it's just like, oh, shit.
Right.
What's going on?
Right.
How was it for you and your whole transition? Obviously, Daniel's still there. You know, what does that do to a person's confidence? Because I don't think people really know. Like, even though we're this macho man figure, we're strong, we're tough, you're still human at the end of the day.
Sure.
Too.
You know, and I think kind of having dealt with having an older brother and kind of following in that footsteps and just kind of understand that what got me to this situation and what made me have success early on was that, hey, I was going to work hard, I was going to be committed,
Right.
I was going to do everything possible I could to go out there and have success. And if it didn't work, then that's just life sometimes. And it wasn't because I didn't give it my all. And so I had no problem. I knew they drafted Daniel that, hey, I'm gonna work, but I'm gonna treat him like I've treated every other quarterback that's been in that room, and we're gonna talk football, and I like doing that. And I'm gonna give the opportunity to start. I know I got to make something happen these first games. If we don't, then that's
So
just
be it.
that's just the way it is. It's like I worked hard, I prepared, I did what I wanted to do, and eventually, hey, he was going to come over, and I told him, I said, I'm not going to make this awkward in the quarterback room. We got another 4 months. We're going to be hanging out every single day with each other. It's like, that's not fair to you. That's not fair to me. That's not fair to Coach Shula and the coaches. I said, I can handle it. I'm a big boy, and if you need anything from me, and I'm still friendly with Daniel. I saw him yesterday, and I tell him every time. I said, hey, I'm not gonna bother you. I'm not gonna be the guy texting you or giving you advice. But if you need anything, I'm here for you. Like if you need anything, you text me. Or you want to talk. You need to. Sometimes it's good to talk with another quarterback, right? Because you can't talk to your best friend because they don't know what you're dealing with. They don't know what it's like to be in the pocket and facing a zone blitz or dealing with drama of receivers complaining and this and that. I said, if you just need someone just to vent to, I'm happy to be here for you.
Right. Man.
How's it for you?
Well, for me, I think our sport, and I have to word this right? When you walk into that locker room, everybody is an alpha male.
Sure.
Everybody. And it's not about being the lion. It's not about being the gorilla. It's not about being the antelope. It's not about being the cheetah or whatever. It's just about, going back to that word, being harmonic. No.
That sounds right.
Harmony, right? That's the word that I'm trying to say.
Harmonica.
Yeah, that's an instrument.
Exactly. But it's
But
about harmony.
once that happens, day one, you're automatically aggressive. Competitive in some way, shape, form. Respectful, but competitive. And I think me and Mac's relationship was always competitive. It never morphed into, what it could be. And I think that was just the situations that we were in. And everybody knows me, like we had the best, meetings because it's only but so much that we could talk about. Like, Coach, man, look, I need a break. I think I can speak for a lot of other people in this room. We need a break, so just give us I'm that type of player. I'm the lighthearted person, but when it's time to get down to business, that is that. Mac was a person who he knew he was the first pick, and he kind of felt, it's my time, which he should.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying? Because I was the same way. When I got drafted, Jimmy Clausen had just got drafted the year before. He was the Panthers' first pick, but it happened to be in the second round. Right. So he had all this promise that he kind of expected. So when Mac came, we had that introduction where it was like, hey, man, if you need me, I'll be here, da-da-da-da. But I don't think our relationship could be anything more than it was because we're competing versus each other.
Yeah.
And whether he would ask certain questions about, this, that, and the third, but you also have to be reminded that I was still learning a 20-year system,
new system
myself. Brian Hoyer, he was impeccable, was great. And Jared Stidham was there too. So it was my job, I felt, to make everything comfortable, in the humanistic phases of the football game. In the cafeteria, in the locker room, just kicking the shit in the weight room or whatever. And I never wanted to be a distraction, never once was a distraction to that point, but I think it did snip our capabilities of our relationship because it was just so competitive, you know what I'm saying? And that's just the thing. So for me, my time in New England, it was nothing less than everything that I expected it. But once, with the first round pick for the New England Patriots select Mac Jones, I already knew it was like, okay, I knew sooner or later that day was gonna come, and it came, and the respect that Matt Patricia and Josh McDaniels at that time, he was still there. And Coach Belichick had, man, it was just a well-ran organization. So I couldn't just say like, oh man, like they helped, me hate Mac even more. No,
right.
But it was just so competitive. And he came from, that other school too. So he was already prepared for that. You know what I'm saying? There was nothing, so when they had that conversation for me to say, Cam, we got to let you go, it was I almost felt like my gift was my curse,
Sure.
because I could have been that person for him. And he probably would have seen a different side of me, that's just say, hey, bro, I'm here for you. Let me know if you need anything. Matter of fact, fuck it, I'm going over here to Dunkin' Donuts. You want something, da, 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 da.
Right.
Our relationship never got to that point because it was so competitive. But I knew when they gave the keys to him, it was going to be in good hands. He was prepared. He worked his ass off. He could spin it, and he was just so intellectual to understanding things that he was picking up at. I'm like, damn, like, what you, 27? He was, 21. Well, he was really 20, I think, and had that understanding. He was already prepared to be in that moment. So it just sucks that the industry that we're in, just brings out just one side to you. And the great teams that you've been on, you may not have been the most talented teams, but one thing that you guys knew, you knew how to communicate, you knew how to kind of get the guys together. Hey man, every Monday night, bro, Eli's hosting. Hey, Tiki's hosting this week. Hey, the wives would do certain things. Those are the special things that you look back at and you'll miss.
Yeah, definitely. The closeness of the team. You get those teams that are truly unselfish, that like being with each other. Mm-hmm. Receivers like each other. Yeah. They're excited when the other receiver scores touchdowns. They're excited when you're running the ball well. They understand kind of, we'd have Plaxico Burress saying, hey, they're double teaming. Let's run the ball, and then when they stop double teaming me, then throw me the ball.
Right.
But it wasn't just, hey, I got to get the ball because I'm trying to keep up with the league and receiving yards or catches. It was all very unselfish, team-oriented. Guys want to go out there and do it, kind of win for each other.
Right. Man, I heard, what was it? I got it from Ray Allen. I'm not sure if he said it first, but he mentioned, where would the world be if nobody cared who got the credit?
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It'd be good.
That's pretty cool. Man, Elijah?
That's it. Elisha.
Elijah Manning, my guy.
How do I get a cowboy hat? It's like a visor and a cowboy hat, right? There's nothing at the top.
Man, listen.
I'd never seen that before.
Man, you supposed to be taking me around. We in New York. You know what I'm saying? You supposed, hey, Cam, boy, I got this spot. Blah, 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 blah.
I'm trying to blend in.
Nah, man, I'm trying to blend out. You know what I'm saying? So, man, appreciate you, man. Appreciate the time.
Appreciate it, man.
Man, this was easy. Oh, as we end things, we're gonna start with this. No, let's start with this camera, right? So everything that I do, you got to do is going to be respectful. It's not going to be anything demonizing or anything like that. You'll like it. Give you a lot of stripes in the street cred, right? I think so. Here we go. We got one finger.
One finger.
One pinky.
One pinky.
One thumb.
One thumb.
One love.
One love.
Appreciate you, brother. We out of here. Thank
Appreciate
you, brother. Yes, sir.
Thank you.